it's a call for Facebook, or we call it Meta now. Imagine mo, even them,
Yes,
they
it is
changed their name
Meta.
to
Yes. Yep.
Meta. So to place this without hindering freedom of expression, sige, okay, freedom of expression, but there should be some sort of disclaimers similar to what Elon Musk in X is applying. There's also a call on our end na we wanted to place some sort of regulation in terms of boosting. For example, a lawyer, di ba, he has his license. We want to
Mhm.
license all people who can boost only. So that when they boost fake news, wrong information, their license will be revoked, and they can no longer use boosting because that spreads fake news and stuff.
Right.
So these things we have to place some sort of standard.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome and good day. Welcome to our last episode for this season, season 16. We're at episode 12. And I think we're going to end this with a bang because I brought Mr. Brian C., who will be talking about the metaverse and sustainability marketing. For those of you who don't know Brian, he's the third youngest president of the Philippine Marketing Association and a certified Go Negosyo mentor. He is a certified professional marketer, Asia, conferred by the Marketing Institute of Singapore, and co founder of 360 Next Creative Solutions. He is also currently he also currently sits as a chief marketing officer at Inspire Software and Technology Solutions and strategic business development director for a group of companies with diversified industries focused on business outsourcing with nationwide resort and commercial properties. Brian, tell us more about yourself.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much for inviting me, and hello to our audience. So I'm si Brian Lato. Basically, aside from what Paul mentioned, I'm currently the International Affairs Director and the immediate past president of the Philippine Marketing Association. So, yeah, I'm into diversified industries. It's very interesting to know each industries and connect them all together. So basically, that's what more the audience need to know about me, and I hope I'll give justice, no, and value for today's interview.
You know, even your topic I found intriguing, the metaverse and sustainability marketing. You seem to have brought together two words that are, well, sustainability it's like a hot topic at the moment. Okay. Metaverse is something that I heard of, then I think it kind of disappeared with all the chat with AI, GPT. It kind of it kind of disappeared. But Brian, maybe you could tell us a little more about what's going on in the metaverse now. For those who don't know what it is, and sustainability.
So, all right. So, the metaverse is actually a collective virtual shared space created by the convergence of virtually enhanced physical reality. No, in short, it's like our digital world. But there are several types of metaverse. We have the virtual reality, which entirely it's like the games that kids are playing right now, or for example, the virtual conferences attended during the pandemic. So it's an entirely digital world. And we also have the augmented reality, or some called it mixed reality. Ito yung mga Pokemon Go, if you've played it. I don't know if you're one of
Mhm.
those who played it. So we mixed physical reality with some digital assets into it, no? Where people can interact with the digital asset inside. So it's a network of interconnected virtual environments when users can interact a computer generated environment and together with other users. So I mentioned the concept of VR and AR. So kumaga, yan lang, in short, metaverse is just really a digital world. It's either purely digital or it's already a mix of our physical world where there's an overlay of digital assets.
So if I got that right, the virtual reality is really just it's all virtual. The augmented is a
Yes.
combination. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Correct, correct.
Okay. And so today we're focusing on both or just the metaverse? I'm
Actually,
sorry. Yes.
our focus is really more of how do we use the metaverse into sustainability, because sustainability is actually the main topic of the 70th year of the
Mhm.
Philippine Marketing Action Association. Actually, it's sustainability AI, Because if you spell sustainability, we realize that AI is inside the word sustainability.
Right.
So it must make sense that it's also interconnected together with the metaverse. So
Okay.
that's what I wanted to talk more about uh, at, this afternoon.
Now, sustainability usually associated things like carbon footprint, the impact on the ecology, and maybe harmony with the nature, with nature, and all of that. So, how do you interconnect these two in the metaverse? How do you bring them together?
All right. So we mentioned that metaverse is a digital world, no? So the good thing about the metaverse is it allows you to have an what do you call this? You have asset, you have a digital asset, and reduce the need for physical resources, enabling new forms of digital interaction and commerce. So the context where I'm
Mm.
coming from, kasi in reality, experts would say, the metaverse has the, kumbaga, highest electricity consumption, ang bigat para ma-compute yung mga items, ma-hold in data centers, yung mga digital assets, no? So the answer here is, first is, with every technology, even the EV, the source has to be renewable energy. In the Philippines, I'm happy to say that we are stably increasing the output coming from renewable energy. Because I
Mhm.
heard an article coming from 2020 or around 2021, we are just only having an output of 12%. But now, when I checked on the recent data, it has increased to 26.6%. So I've seen a lot of companies investing in renewable forms of energy. So if 100% of the output used by the cloud computing of the metaverse will be coming from renewable energy, that answers the problem and makes it sustainable. So imagine if you are a marketer or you are a business, you will no longer need to print tarpaulins. You will no longer need to print collaterals because it will all be digital. Remember, we were talking about earlier about augmented reality, AR, no? So imagine your poster is now just a digital poster where people will just use their device and scan. So you can change it from time to time. Diba? So that makes it that part is really a big leap when it comes to sustainability for marketers or advertising agencies. Imagine the waste being produced in collaterals, in marketing collaterals, in signages, in posters, in everything, no? And in so many ways also, even ordering, even promotions, personalization, everything can be applied in the metaverse. Based on the research that we've done in the Philippine Marketing Association, the Philippines can adapt in the metaverse through the use of mobile devices because I think we have 96% using mobile devices, no? If not 100%, iba nga dalawa-dalawa pa. So kasi right now the hardware for the metaverse is very expensive. With the launch of the Apple Vision Pro, alam niyo naman ang Apple pag nag-release yan ng product, they wanted to be solid and talagang usable, no? So we can see that really it might be quiet at the moment, but they are continuously making it what do you call this, mature when it comes to technology. So we feel that the adoption of this metaverse may take a little bit, siguro mga 10 more years. Once the full hardware is matured, then that's the time, people will get used to it. Similar to when there was radio, before wala namang radio, papel, tapos radio, then TV. So, di ba, kumbaga may kaduktong siya na hardware palagi eh. The adoption comes with the hardware. So we can see now once that hardware is like a glass na lang that you don't have to wear in, it's pretty much economical to shift. Then we will see a migration. Other factors that people can relate metaverse and sustainability is the reduction of physical consumption and waste. Um, reduction of carbon emission as well. So imagine you're going to a meeting. Actually, this meeting is actually a virtual meeting, right? In the metaverse, it will just improve the experience. Instead of us just be talking in boxes, talking like this, it will be it can create like we can create a persona or representing ourselves, or di kaya tayo mismo is like a whole person na in a virtual set, no? So that reduces a lot when it comes to traveling time, traffic, pollution. So imagine this initiative of yours, inviting me online, is also kumbaga a solution of what we see the metaverse future will be. So it's just like an improved version lang naman. And then next would be virtual goods. So because we have a digital representation of ourselves, brands actually started na in some of the games selling their own goods. Dahil nga it's a physical representation of yourself, syempre, sometimes you have to look good. Not sometimes. Most of the time, you have to look good. So you'll have to buy siguro an Adidas virtual t-shirt so that your avatar will be wearing something branded. So there's no need to produce an actual cotton or whatever because it's already digital. So may ganyan siyang factor. And of course, digital commerce. It's going to be more vibrant. Um, it's going to be more sustainable because of this new digital commerce that allows us to sell virtual goods out of the plastic shopping bags of the e-commerce, that contributes a lot to waste because it's digital commerce. And then when it comes to social sustainability, education, number one, will improve. Because if we have this very interactive, may engage talaga natin yung mga estudyante with how we will design our education, remote learning will be more fun. Kasi imagine, a lot of students in the province without this access to internet, education, will suddenly have accessibility, and education in remote learning. Kasi with the use of one advancements that we have right now is Starlink. Kasi you don't need a physical infrastructure. You just place the satellite up and then you'll be able to receive good internet connection. That allows us to connect any part of the Philippines given we are 7,000 plus island, either low tide or high tide, 'di ba? So if we have this improved metaverse education system, mas magi-improve din yung learning kasi it feels like a game. It feels like very interesting. And in the end of the day, we are talking about what the future market will be liking. So kahit kami naman millennials, we know the best of both worlds, but understanding where the digital natives are, the Gen Z, the Alpha are coming, na talagang they were immersed in a world na digital. They will want more coming from just the screens. They want to interact. So this is why the talks of the metaverse maybe right now a little bit quiet, but actually AI and sustainability will be integrated in this whole new world once it matures in the world. So yun yung nakita natin. Paul, sorry.
That's very, very exciting. Everything you said, it looks very, and it does look exciting. A couple of things that I'd just like to ask. A lot of this requires, as you said, currently I think what they have are goggles, right? That's the one that at least I see.
The goggles would be the one. The other thing is our mobile phones rin naman can act as the fast way to interact with it. Similar to the concept of the Pokemon Go. The Pokemon Go kasi, di ba, like you have a live camera, but it's a fake AR daw because it just maps the But that concept na you open your camera and then there's a digital asset that pops out. Oh, okay, this ad, this is the menu. This is the salesperson, something like that.
I have a very interesting question about that. as it is today, there are a lot of people look saying that we're too attached to our phones. Okay, and what you're talking about, I think, will even make us more attached to the phone. Okay, and while I understand the whole idea of the new universe, we have to look at also the old, or what its plans. Are you planning to replace the old? Because the strangest thing that I find is I've read too many articles that say, okay, if you need to relax from this world, detach. Which means, you know, get off the internet, get off the social media, and that's how you recenter yourself. Now, at the same time, with all of this coming along, the more you'll be attached to it. Okay, because you're practically doing everything there. So, how do you? Are there any plans, maybe to put a guardrail around this or something? Because well, we might wind up people just in the metaverse all the time that they forget to say hello to their neighbor. I don't know. Okay.
So I mean, it's the same as when Facebook was introduced. The main idea naman is to make us more connected. It's just that it's the way how people use it kasi, 'di ba? Parang these technologies are here to support us to make our lives better. But when we abuse it, or if we, prolong the usage of it, it's really up also to the person. But the way we see it kasi, this is really the reality of how things are going also. But yeah, I agree with you. I myself, if I'm so burned out, I would leave my phone, I would drop my laptop and just go to the beach, or be with the nature. So I agree with you. I mean, it's not all positive. But in a way, kumbaga, what we're seeing naman is the emergence of technology and how we can adjust, especially to the future market that we are talking about. Because in the end of the day, tayo naman, di ba, in the industry, we relay it to what the customers, to what the market would be needing and demanding from us in the future. And we are seeing that this is one of the highest things. We're coming up with the data of understanding further Gen Zs and Gen Alpha. Kasi sila naman, 'di ba, pagkapanganak pa nga yata, baka nasa tiyan pa lang may tablet na eh. So, it's really how they grew up. So, we can only see these devices mature further, but in the end of the day, at least ngayon, we are talking sense of it's going to be more of a sustainable future, rather than just relying on the old practices. So, kung tutusin, the Gen Zs are more into sustainability, pero gusto rin nila high-tech. So, how do we marry both together? So, I agree with you. But there's some sort of parang rules or regulations then that should be put into place, when it comes to using this technology. But, as we interact with it, as we engage with it, then we will see, okay, ito yung effect, ito yung impact, ito yung pain points we need to address, we need to put some standards to.
I'm absolutely agree with you. With historically speaking, so far we haven't done a very good job with that. Okay, what I mean by this is I'm sure that when Mark Zuckerberg was creating Facebook, I didn't think he'd ever believe that he'd find himself facing an ethics committee. You know, you
Yes.
know what I mean? I don't think that was even beyond this. So here we're talking about new things, and it's difficult for us to really project the impact, if you want to say. I know I can't stop it. Please, it's just gonna come, and it's gonna affect us the way it does. It's just that for me, it's coming in. It's not just maybe it's the speed. Okay, I'll just give you an example. If you look at technology as it progressed, some technologies we've kind of mastered, if you want to say. If you look at the airplane, okay, we kind of have mastered it, right? We're good at it. Or if you look at even, let's say, modern plumbing, flushing a toilet, the nice Japanese toilets. So those are things that we've mastered. The thing about it, we haven't even mastered social media. Now we want to put in something else. So, like say, we'll be just as confused or even more confused. And to your point, it's funny because uh, even the Valley personalities, they don't allow their children access to social media until a certain age. They don't. Okay.
But
And the fun,
you can fake your age and all
no,
when
I'm aware
input,
of that. I'm
right?
aware of that. But well, what I find interesting is none of those personalities ever put a warning on their gadget. None of them. They didn't say, "Hey, this could be dangerous if used by a child." None of them. So I said, "Okay, you treat your child like it's. I can understand that, but why isn't there a warning on your gadget? Even something that simple." And actually, that's the part that I find a little tricky with all this new technology coming in. But the point you're making about sustainability in terms of no more tarpaulins and all those are very very valid points. I think this is all new technologies. There's an adoption phase, if you want to say. You start and then, but the thing that keeps on my mind is you haven't even adopted. There's a new one already. And then, oh no, what do we do now? Okay. But so far, the plans that you've mentioned sound really, really good. Of all the plans that you've mentioned, the one that maybe I'm really most interested in is getting education out to the rural areas because before Starlink, they had no access to the internet, zero. Okay, so is there any progress you're making there? Or is there any kind of efforts? Can you tell us a little more about that?
All right. When it comes to that, no, so it's still in there are a lot of companies now offering interactive learning management
Mm,
system LMS. So that makes education more accessible to everybody. But on our end, we have we have no push yet. We will try to come up with some modules in the Philippine marketing when in terms of teaching more entrepreneurs marketing. But this is a concept that we can probably propose to our education sector, that we can ask our education system to work on. Especially that the ICT, I believe, is working with Starlink to provide more internet access
mhm,
in public areas because it's more efficient and it's probably cheaper no than building an infrastructure, a cell site, a cell tower, etc. and
mhm.
all. So unless that infrastructure is up already, and then that can only be possible. But now, if you just really want to, if there are advocacies coming from different people, or in the
Mhm.
audience who would like to support this advocacy, we'll be happy to collaborate with. Because you just see the Starlink unit, and
Mhm.
we can design or we can create the interactive modules so the kids can learn no when it comes to the far flung areas. And again, it has to be sustainable, so we need to
Of
leave the
course.
device there, and
Mhm.
it has to be continuously diba, and accessing their modules and all this stuff.
Right.
But the future is very much interesting, because the metaverse also can allow you to explore spaces that you haven't been able to explore. Like, for example, the depths of the Mariana Trench. They can digitally render it, what's happening there, the biodiversity inside, or you want to go to some, you don't have the money, you want the kids to understand the ecosystems, the nature, or di kaya have a travel in Asia,
Mhm.
understanding cultural places, or probably reenact the colonization history, talking about history, digitally rendered, animated. So education per se will really have a very good what they call this, will make things more interesting. We're no longer describing history through words, but rather through actual figures, digital. And because it's AR or it's VR, you get to experience it firsthand. Because
Right.
it's the trend also is coming for the consumers naman. It's more about experiential commerce, experiential marketing. So you
Right.
try to satisfy the senses more than just seeing a static poster, like that.
Correct. Right. So I've told you what my favorite was. Let's hear from you. There's so many things there. I'll ask you two questions. One is, of everything that you've mentioned, which one do you feel has what could probably have the most impact on our economy, if you want to say? And then the second question is, of the things you've mentioned, which one is your personal favorite? Which is the one that really gets you excited? You can answer them in whatever order, but those are the two questions I'm asking.
So siguro the one that would impact definitely the commerce would be the ads, the how can we integrate metaverse into the businesses and make it easier, no, for us to use. That would definitely have a big impact. Specifically, if you I haven't tried actually an Apple Vision Pro. I wanted to buy one and really interact with it. If that is really the future, maybe the next Apple Vision Pro is your eye, yeah, your eyeglasses. That's
Right.
one you're wearing right now. The form factor is at its simplest, and you get to do computer, interact with ads, etc. and all. So I think that's one thing. How businesses will use this new technology integrated in their business processes. May it be in advertising, their employees' computer, creating 3D models of cars, life
Mhm.
size, without the need of an infrastructure and, tweak it, yung mga machines. So that's how, I think at this moment, that's how they're utilizing it now.
Mhm.
They're, before kasi when you create daw a car or a machine, you need to have the life size factor physical.
Right.
Ngayon daw, they just turn it in the metaverse, augmented reality, and then doon nila tinitweak which part, anong size yung i-adapt, paano siya mag-work, and then they can run simulations. So that's one thing this technology offers that would be more economically, that would contribute to our economics highly.
Right.
And siguro the one my favorite would be is
The one
you
closest to
get
your
to
heart. The one closest to
siguro
your heart.
I get to interact with people far from my place, as long as it's their authentic digital self, no. Kasi in the metaverse you can create a persona nga that is not really naman you. Actually in the survey, kasi syempre it's a wide demographic, we ask some of those in the ano na, the boomers. We ask them, what will you do in the metaverse? They would like to be young based on their based on the survey that we did. So they'd like to have a younger version of themselves interacting in the world. So there is some sort of psychological and it really what the study says, no. So sa amin naman, as long as there are ethical standards put into place, and kumbaga there is a disclaimer, not the real one. Parang this is a character. Parang something like that. And then if I would be able to interact with people the way they want to express themselves, it's what makes it exciting also. And the Zoom meeting eventually will be more of a character to character na, 'di ba? That's more exciting. It's like you're just beside me, 'di ba? So kumbaga that's one thing, and I'm an anime lover. So maybe next
Oh.
time I'll interact with Pikachu, but it is just like life size, pero those things, those things. So
Mhm.
that makes things exciting in the future.
You know, one thing is for sure, that survey, they didn't ask me. I like my age. The only Maybe the only time I'd like to be young is when I'm getting out of bed or something. It's just so hard. Yeah. Oh gosh. but I like my age. Okay, I've nothing against it. Okay. So they didn't interview me.
Yes, yes, most likely.
But that's actually, even if you don't include VR and all that stuff, it's already there. I mean, there's plastic surgery. I mean, the beauty industry in itself is it's big. People who want to look younger. It's quite big in itself. But then we always have to consider. Let's say, I don't want to use this term as the dark side of it, because every time you say let's put a regulation, the first thing that comes to mind is Dr. Evil. I'm going to charge you $100 million if you don't do this. I get these images of somebody abusing it right away. It's so difficult to you can put a regulation, but it's also easy to circumvent it. So
Yes.
those are, I think, challenges for all new technology, not just for the metaverse and AI. For me, especially for AI, it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. Okay,
Yes. That's
that's a
why I
challenge
think
in itself.
there there are really talks on how to regulate it. Diba kasi diba, the Terminator movie naman, if the Dr. Evil is here, ano ako naman, AI shocks. If recently they launched ChatGPT 4.0, and my God, it talks like a human already. The expressions, and it can describe things that it can now see through your camera phone. So, oh my God, so really, we just have to put some sort of a brake or parang emergency button to stop or whatsoever, no? Because it's really it's amazing, but also alarming, no? So in the end of the day, siguro transparency, if there should be some sort of transparency platform placed in this new emerging technologies. And yun nga, ang hirap, no? Self-regulations. That's why in the Philippines naman, we have the Ad Standards Council to the industry, the people, the industry experts come together and, put some sort of ethical standards, regulation if the government cannot fulfill its role, diba? So at least there's no biases because it's all of us putting it together. It's a matter of how we will maximize and utilize this technology.
Right now, are there for that particular group, the one who's talking about the ethical standards for marketing? There really talks about how to make AI and stuff ethical because it really is difficult. You talked about Chat GPT 4.5, correct? I can assure you,
4.0.
4.0, I can assure you that, before you can even read Chat GPT 4.0, there'll be a 4.5. Then there'll be a 5. You can't even figure one out. Oh, there's a new one. Okay. So what efforts are there on the marketing association side to try to put some ethics into this? I mean, I'll just give you a very simple example. This happened pre-COVID. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was a glutathione ad that was directly stating that if you're dark-colored skin, it's bad. I think you remember it, or it was just before the pandemic or something. I said, "What?" And that for me, that was an ethical miss. But you know, so
Maybe
but
they did not apply
yeah,
it at the ASC siguro when they published it.
maybe they didn't. Okay, all right. So for our audience, what does ASC stand for?
Artificial intelligence.
Okay, artificial intelligence. All right. Uh,
So
yes, go ahead.
yeah. With what you're talking about, yes, there are actually some things that we have to consider also, and they're already in talks of putting some sort of ethical standards pertaining to the use of AI also. Because imagine in the academe, we can see a lot of students just inputting prompts and then submitting it as if they studied, diba?
Right.
So now professors are now placing some sort of they can use a platform to read if it's AI generated or it's not. So the professors can now battle that out, and then I think they placed an interview to scope your knowledge without any questionnaires to see if you really studied. So
Of
parang there
course.
are some ways. In writers naman, we encourage writers if they use really an AI to generate the article, maybe just put a disclaimer that this article was generated with the help of an AI. Kasi in the end of the day, it made our lives more efficient. But we are trying to think ways of how we will be able to use this without naman sacrificing the genuine, the authentic, the ones who really, work hard to do things without the tool. But let's not naman discourage the usage of the tool kasi there are some naman monotonous works that can help us assist with this technology as well. So yes, there are talks. We are also putting up, we're in talks of the Global AI Council, the Blockchain Council of the Philippines also. These are composed of different individuals who are into blockchain and AI. And, we are in talks of pushing something with the government to assist and aid, no, in terms of legislation. And other things, diba, mag-election na this 2050. So I saw in the news that the COMELEC is looking to, there is a call for the COMELEC to place a sort of ethical standards when it comes to the usage of AI, especially in this election. And one controversial thing that I'm seeing right now are AI-generated videos in the West Philippine Sea. So it's very alarming for me as an individual if you, as a user, will not really screen and understand what you are watching. Mapapaniwala ka eh. That these things, the controversial news of China that it's the Philippines provoking China, etc. and all, using AI generated, it's also scary, no? So dapat may mga ano din diyan, may mga call if they may fact verifier. Is this real? Is this AI generated? Is this information correct? So we can see in X, in Twitter, they call it X now. If you see a video, their AI plays a disclaimer that this is actually not a video about this and that. This is actually, this happened to this. So I think we need to put into place more of those fact verifiers. And then the ethical standards, it's more of really us talking all together on how we will integrate this into our lives.
It's there was one that was posted. I think it was in groups I trusted. I still trust. Okay. And when I look at it, I'll admit it looks real. It does. Okay. And I was thinking, our attention span today is down to seconds. We're not going to even care to look twice. We'll just believe it. God. But then I started looking a little closer. I said, "Oh, this is a fake," and there was no disclaimer. Okay, but I could tell it was a fake, and then I explained to them how it's a fake. In my eyes, it's a fake. It's not real. Okay, and it has to do mainly with the how would I say? It has to do with the coordination of your facial movements and your body movements. Okay, there's a slight misalignment. Now, it shouldn't be happening. Okay, so I'm figuring that there's somebody just put the head there on top of the body. And it's not aligned with what he's saying, this and that, but his body movement is not aligned with it. So there's something that's off here. So I go and then I look closer. Tama nga. If you look close enough, like where the neck meets the body, it's kind of hidden, or it's, you know what I mean? It's visible, but you have to spend time looking at it. If you don't, you'll just take it for real. You will.
Correct. Kaya we really have to have a call with also social media platforms that, if this is, there's freedom of expression, okay, that's fine. But if they're claiming something that is not real, or if this, for example, I've seen reporters endorsing some products na hindi naman sila, with the use of AI also. And sabi naman namin, dapat naman plinagman lang ni Facebook. Medyo yung self-regulation also ni Facebook is really something that we are a little bit concerned because a lot of our Filipinos, 73 million or 80 million plus, are into Facebook compared to the other platforms. So at least, they should place this, it's a call for Facebook, or we call it Meta now. Imagine mo, even then they changed their name to Meta. Meta. So to place this without hindering freedom of expression, sige, okay, freedom of expression, but there should be some sort of disclaimers similar to what Elon Musk in X is applying. So yun, more on self-regulation, and there's also a call on our end na na we wanted to place some sort of regulation in terms of boosting. Like, like for example, a lawyer, 'di ba, he has his license. We want to
Mm,
license all people who can boost only. So that when they boost fake news, wrong information, their license will be revoked and they can no longer use boosting because that spreads fake news and stuff.
right.
So these things we have to place some sort of standards na we only experience firsthand. So ang dami pang I agree with you, ang dami pang pwedeng gawin, but there are people who's working on this technology, there are people working on this technology. Okay, sige, step by step. Oh, we need to address this first, 'di ba? Kasi in the
Mm,
end of the day, the foundations of what the next technology is based on what we will work on today. So with
correct.
whatever we have or the problems that we face right now, we have to also work on it.
That's actually even the creators of AI. They said they're not even quite sure how it operates. So they can't. I said, here we go. I I get these images of I don't know if you've ever read the book the book Frankenstein itself. Okay, not the movie, the book, no. Because the book is about a doctor who creates life. Okay, and the life keeps on asking it, "Why did you create me?" And the doctor can't answer. so, so the monster Frankenstein just wanders the globe trying to find out, why he was created and all of that. So, but it's interesting because when I look at what's happening now, there's so many parallels between Frankenstein, the book, not the movie, yeah, and what's happening now. We're creating something that so, but yeah, again, this is something we really just I can't stop it. It's going to happen. So we really have to maybe get ourselves together and figure out a way to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand. Okay, and especially with what you can do with AI and all the other things. And I read in passing an article, a guy who visited the dark web. Okay, and he said the things they're doing with AI there is just makes you question what humanity is. So I said, "Oh boy," I said, "That's not good." But it's very fascinating, and actually, it's the awareness of that at least you guys are doing something about it. Okay, so running off into the horizon, yay! Let's go check the new bonanza. You know what I mean? And then you just, uh, but other than that, Brian, would you like to invite our audience to any events that maybe are upcoming or something that you can share with them?
All right. So we'll be having our upcoming national marketing conference. We're talking about next gen. So how does next gen work, or what would be the next gen processes, etc. And also, this is open to all CMOs, owners, or upcoming marketers. It's happening on September. The Philippine Marketing Association will be posting the page. So it addresses the gap of understanding boomers, understanding millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and boomers can now, okay, ano ba ang tumatakbo sa utak nitong mga ito? Para ganon. And then, how is it more efficient? So, parang it's also, kumaga, in a way, those naman young will understand, okay, these things are put into place because of this and that. So, it's really more of that. And what's the next technology that you can operationalize in your marketing or in your business, even in operations. So it's happening in September. So we will invite you. And of course, if you want to get to know more and interact with like-minded people in across ages, you can also join the Philippine Marketing Association because these are the things that we talk about. And there are people in our group who are applying this to their business, and you get first-hand information. So at least it's no longer theoretical. It's more of the actual application. So I invite you to also join the Philippine Marketing Association.
What's the best way to get in touch with the Philippine Marketing Association? And of course, get in touch with you, Brian.
Yeah, of course you can see me in LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. So in the Philippine Marketing Association, we have our website, or you can. It's faster if it's on Facebook. So
Mm,
our team will get in touch with you if you want to join us. and be part of this dynamic, vibrant group. And we're actually celebrating our platinum year. It's been
Hmm.
70 years since the Philippine Marketing Association has been founded. So, we try to mix various ages together, various industries together, and we talk things, and provide solutions to all the challenges that we have right now.
That's
April in
that's
relation to marketing.
that sounds really exciting. Will it be here in Manila or is it in a province?
It's going to be in City of Dreams, the National
Okay.
Marketing Conference.
Yes.
We're just finalizing the date, but all the details will be out very soon on all Philippine Marketing Association days.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And for all our viewers, our next episode actually is starting a new season, season 17. It'll be our first episode. We'll be featuring Carmire De Leon. She'll be talking about sheer life and not, this is sheer spelled Sheer, not Eareer, which I think many of us would be definitely very interested in listening to. If you enjoyed what you saw today or what you heard today, I certainly did. Please subscribe, like, follow at the links below. And as always, learning is a never ending journey with limitless vistas.